Hello friends, here I am with new story. I hope you all like the video and subscribe to my channel. So let's start the video with summary. His mother was wisdom and his paternal family are the elements with a never-seen combination of lineage. As if being the only child of Roman and Greek relations to be born from an Olympian was not enough, he is the grandson of the storm, and great-grandson of the moon and the sun. With such lineage he will take the world by storm. Good Zeus, Naruto harem incest, Shinto Uchiha Naruto. Prologue. Two people talking. Wave angry gods talking. Wave people thinking. Wave Biju angry gods thinking. Wave Jutsu technique. Wave AN. I don't own Naruto or Percy Jackson, just saying. The updates are going to be irregular because I'm having some problems with my schoolwork, so please don't be discouraged by the irregular updates. 1 year and 4 months later, it's been a year and 4 months that Naruto started his classes in the academy, and Naruto was the top student in the academy. It was to point that he just sent a clone to the academy and stayed home reading scrolls and training to better his abilities. In the academy the clone was really reserved and barely had any friends. This was due to Naruto not being good socializing with others, and some of the civilian kids fearing his strength. All the teacher were pushing to make him a genin, already stating that he is too strong and that the academy is only holding him back. Even the Hokage thought that it would better if he was to be put as a genin under a Chunin sensei. We now see Naruto doing his daily run throughout the village training grounds when Naruto Uchiha, Danzo-sama wishes to speak with you. If you don't comply we will have to use force. Naruto was about to go with them till he remembered something that Shisui said 2 months ago, never trust Danzo, avoid him as much as possible. Was what his elder brother said. Getting ready to fight or flight, he got into the interceptor fist stance and waited for an opening, calculating all the possibilities he had to ensure his survival. Meanwhile with Shisui, Hokage-sama, I am here to let you know about something of great concern, said one Shisui in his ANBU uniform. This is about village security, he said with a really serious face. Seeing this, the Hokage nodded and sent all the other ANBU out of his office. After they were alone with privacy seals on, the third said, Report Crow, what's this matter of importance? He said in a commanding voice. Sandaime-sama, the Uchiha are planning a coup d'etat, he said with a somber tone, knowing this could deal a major blow to the village security. Hiruzen looked at him with a grave look and said, who are his supporters and why did this happen? Are Itachi and Mikoto in on this too? He asked, knowing those two loyalty towards the village, but it was choosing family or village, and he didn't know which they would choose if push comes to shove. I talked to Itachi and he said that he and his mother will stand by the village side no matter what, said Shisui. The Sandaime knew the answer, he just wanted to make sure. Back to Naruto. Sweating Naruto was trying his best, but it was not enough till one of the ANBUs came at him at high Chunin speeds, aiming to decapitate him. At that moment Naruto had an epiphany. He was about to die. Scared for his life, he started to see everything in slow motion. He felt as if the world was mocking him, making his last second alive the longest he ever had. Not wanting to die, he took his kunai and held it in a reverse grip and flared his chakra, sending a big pulse and jumped in the air. He threw the kunai and went through some quick hand seals, saying Kage kunai no jutsu. The kunai he threw became 100. Still in his adrenaline rush, he went through some more hand seals and said Katen, Gokakyu no jutsu, incinerating everything in front of him. At that moment a squad of ANBU showed up and finished the enemy ANBU. Seeing he was safe, Naruto took some time to think about what just happened till it all came down on him like a brick wall. I just killed somebody. He stood there in shock when Shisui arrived and hugged him. Seeing him panicked. It's okay little brother, tell me what happened, who attacked you? After hearing his big brother, Naruto broke down crying, remembering he just killed someone, and started telling Shisui what happened. After hearing his little brother explain what happened, Shisui was livid. How could Danzo try something against his baby brother? Turning around to see the Hokage approaching them, he said, with all due respect Hokage-sama, but if you don't put a leash on Danzo I will kill him, myself. This is unacceptable. My little brother could have died because of some Nyanbu. If this happens again, consider the village elder dead because he will be, he warned in an icy voice with no emotions. Shocked that his subordinate just spoke to him in such a way, he said, is that a threat, in an icy tone. No, Hokage-sama, is a promise. My dad's last mission for me was to protect my little brother from any threats, and if the village elder is one, then he is going to be dealt with accordingly. With that said, he left the clearing carrying his little brother on his shoulder and went home. On his way home, Shisui was thinking about his little brother's Sharingan. It looks like he activated it due to the stress of the fight. Though with further thinking he remembered his eyes were different from that of the normal Sharingan. His looked to be a storm with a gray and an imperial blue ring that connects to two red Tama that seemed to be spinning hypnotically. Thinking about that, he had to design a new training schedule for his little brother. From this experience he was sure that his little brother is almost ready to be a Junin, and Auntie Mikoto said she wanted to be his Junin sensei. This would most definitely be an interesting couple of years. He just wished that the Uchiha abandoned the plan of having a coup d'etat. 2 weeks later we can see Naruto practicing using his Sharingan while sparring with his big brother. Something they noticed was that his Sharingan started on the second stage for both his eyes. So with a year or so of intense training and sparring he will be able to mature his Sharingan. Okay, let's take a break, said Shisui, thinking on how to start Naruto on Genjutsu. After all, he wanted to know if he was going to be a prodigy in that like he, Shisui, is it ran in their blood being legacies of Tsukuyomi and all. 8 months later, it's been 8 months since the knee fiasco and we now see a Naruto about to take the Genin test. Hey Naruto-san, are you ready to take the test? Asked the academy instructor. Yeah Aobo-sensei, let's do this, he said calmly. First test, accuracy Shuriken Jutsu test. This test was to hit a moving target in vital areas with kunai and shuriken. You have 9 tries with each set, so aim them good, okay? He said to receive and high, throwing all the shurikens at once. He hit every vital spot bullseye. This was due to his big brother drilling that having 10 techniques that you know mastered is better than having 1000 techniques and not master none of them. With this in mind, he threw 9 Albanian legs kunai and hit dead center in all the bullseye on the target. Second test, Taijutsu. You need to last at least 10 minutes with one of the Chunins and try to at least land one punch. For him this was going to be easy. After all, he spars with his older brother for 30 minutes every day for him to get accustomed to the Sharingan. Once the 10 minutes were up he managed to land a couple of nice hits on the instructor, something that astonished the couple of ninjas that were present in the academy at that time. Third test, Ninjutsu. Okay, so for this test you need to show us the substitution, the henge, and a clone jutsu. For extra credit you could do a jutsu of your choosing. At this Naruto started with the henge. He did a henge of his dad flawlessly with no hand signs and no smoke. He then performed the substitution with a leaf from one of the trees outside the window and decided to do a lightning clone. After that he performed a great fireball jutsu as extra credit. Needless to say, that the instructors were left speechless again. Fourth test, Genjutsu. So for Genjutsu, you have to try and cancel some genjutsus from E to high C ranked. In this one, he knew he was not going to have a perfect score. Why? One may ask. Well, that's pretty simple. He started genjutsu dispelling 5 months ago and can only dispel up to mid C ranks. In this test, he didn't get a perfect score, but he was satisfied that he did well in this portion. Genjutsu is one of his favorite ninja arts, so he wanted to explore that area more once he gets a Junin sensei. His last test was the easiest by far. He had to fill 10 academy level questions. This was easy for him because he was already reading up on Chunin to Junin level strategies. He finished reading every history books he found home, which was a lot, and finished reading the mapping books he had available. So he was a mini walking library, something that amused Shisui a lot, and his photographic memory helped him a lot to memorize the things he read up on. In other words, he aced the reading exam. Congratulations Naruto-san, it seems that you passed everything with flying colors. You may now pick a headband of your choosing. Nodding towards the Chunin instructor, Naruto went and picked up a black headband, thinking of customizing the Leaf Village plate in the band, not liking the color too much, thinking that it was too bright for a ninja. Putting it around his neck, he started walking to go to his house. Getting home we see a happy Naruto that was looking for his older brother, trying to tell him the good news. Finding him in the study, he walks up to him and says, "I did it, big brother," showing his headband that was hanging loosely from his neck. "I'm proud of you, little brother," said Shisui, happy looking at his little brother with pride. "So, you're a Genin now, huh?" he asked in a playful tone. "I heard from the Hokage that you were going to be meeting your new sensei 3 days from now. Be ready and show them how strong you are, little brother, okay?" he said with a cheeky smile. "I will, big brother, just you wait," he said enthusiastically. With that done, Naruto started to do his afternoon exercise. Meeting new sensei. It's been 3 days since Naruto graduated from the academy and now he was going back to meet his new sens. He was eager to get to know his Junin sensei. After all, Junin were some of the strongest ninjas in the village. Also, he wanted to see if he could learn Kenjutsu from his Junin sensei. His father was a Kenjutsu master and he wanted to follow in his steps on that. He guessed that his teacher was going to be an Uchiha to help him with his Shuriken, something he wasn't too happy about, but he will try his best. Walking into the classroom his old sensei said to go to, he noticed he was the only one who graduated early this year. Looking to the teacher's desk, he saw his teacher Aoba waiting patiently for him, motioning for him to take a seat, which he did. Okay, Naruto-san, as you may see, you were the only one nominated to graduate early this year, so Junin decided to make you her apprentice. Regularly I would have given you a speech on how you should be proud to be a ninja and to try your best, but I know that even at your age you already know about the reality of the ninja world, so my only advice will be, always keep alert and never let your guard down during missions, and last but not least, I am proud of have had you as a student. And I wish you the best of lucks out there. Your Junin sensei is waiting for you at the rooftop of the academy. With that being said, Aoba stood up and went to his new classroom to start giving lessons. Seeing his teacher gone, Naruto decided to body flicker to the roof. Appearing in a storm cloud, Naruto was on the roof checking to find his sensei. After turning around, he was surprised to hear the voice of his new sensei. Turning around quickly with a smile on his face, he said, "Aunty, you are my new sens." Standing there in front of him was Mikoto, dressed in a black Uchiha shirt and a Junin flak jacket, black spandex shorts with white medical tape around her shins and calves. Around her waist she had a black sash with a fire emblem on it, and a black katana with red hilt on. The hilt had the Uchiha crest on it. She was wearing her headband proudly on her bicep with her hair up in a ponytail. "Hey Naruto, I like your new outfit. It suits you, and yes, I am your new sensei. By the way, while we are on duty I want you to call me Mikoto-sensei or just sensei, okay?" she said, looking at Naruto's outfit, same as Sasuke in Shippuden, but instead of white and purple, is silver and black with silver streaks and a royal blue sash on his waist, his hairstyle looking that of Shisui's but more tamed and more curly, she noticed, adding in the last part as an afterthought. "Okay Naruto, let's get on this. I want you to tell me your likes, dislikes, dreams for the future, what you already know, and what you want to learn or perfect with me as your sensei." "Sensei, can you start please? I know we know each other, but I would like to learn more about you like a ninja," Naruto said, being curious about his auntie's ninja career. "Well, if that's how you want it, I'm okay with doing so," said Mikoto with a small smile. "Okay, my name is Mikoto Uchiha. My likes are, my family, the village, fire manipulation, cooking, and spending time with my family. My dislikes are, rapists, traitors, arrogance, and people who abandon their friends. I already accomplished my dream for the future, and my specialties are, Kenjutsu, Genjutsu, fire manipulation, and lightning manipulation. I was part of the 12 Guardians of the Daimyo and my nickname in the bingo book is the Fire Empress due to my high-level fire manipulation," she said. Naruto was amazed. His aunt was really strong if what he just heard was true. "Now it's your turn, Naru," she said with a small smile, seeing the reaction Naruto had to her title and skills. "Well, my name is Naruto Uchiha. My likes are, owls, wolves, watching the moon and learning new things. My dislikes are, mean people, bullies, rapists, traitors, arrogant people and people who look at me as an outsider. My dreams for the future are becoming an ANBU and having a big family. What I already know is basic fire manipulation, mid-lightning, water, and wine manipulation along with the body flicker jutsu. What I want to learn from you is Kenjutsu and how to efficiently use Genjutsu." He said this with a pensive face, trying to figure what he wants to do in the future. "That's great to know. I'll help you with the Kenjutsu part, but just know that even though we are family, I'm not going to be easy on you because I'll train you to the ground. Also, due to you wanting to learn Kenjutsu from me, we have to get you a sword. Do you know what type of blade you want to use?" she said, asking him what blade he would like to use. "Well, yeah, I think I would like to use a Chakudo," he said, wanting to use a straight blade with some reach. "Very well, let's go to the compound's weapon shop where we will get you a custom-made blade. Remember that this sword is supposed to be an extension to your body, so try and get something that represents yourself." With that said, they used body flicker to get to the Uchiha compound entrance. Uchiha compound. Walking into a weapon store, we see Naruto walking to a sword that he felt as if it was calling him. "I see you like that sword. It was a gift from the Uzumaki to the Uchiha before the village was created. It said that it was made for Uchiha Madara's brother Izuna, but he died before he was given this sword. Also, this sword is sentient and has refused everyone that had tried to wield it for some reason, said the shop owner. The sword was a well-made chakudo with a pitch-black checker metal. On the sides of the blade was a bolt of silver lightning, and on the other side was a golden wolf. In it, the blade had a transcription that said "Will of Iron," with the handle having an Uchiha crest. Surrounding the crest was what looks to be a black stormy cloud. I like the sword. I feel as if I was connected to it. I don't know how to explain it, but I would like that sword. How much do I have to pay for it so I could ask my big brother? He asked. It's okay, I have that covered. Tell me the price and I'll pay for it. I'm your teacher after all, said Mikoto, wanting to connect with her student/nephew more. Well, that will be 4,500 raya for you, Mikoto Dono, said the store owner. Mikoto nodded and paid for the sword. Walking out, Naruto looked at his auntie and said, "Thanks, auntie, I appreciate that," with a big smile looking at his new sword. Well, Naru, now that you have your sword, what will you name it? She asked. At this, Naruto started thinking up a name when he felt as if the sword spoke to him. Her name is Stormbringer, he said. Mikoto noticed that he referred to the sword as she and asked, "Why is it a she?" "Because I heard her voice when I touched her," he said, not knowing exactly why he called his sword that way. Mikoto laughed at this. Well then, take good care of her, she is one of the only things you can fully trust in this ninja world, said Mikoto, knowing that in the ninja world not everything is as it seems. Time skip. Chunin nomination. It's been a year and Naruto has trained till exhaustion, wanting to surpass the expectation the clan has of him being one of the few prodigies of the Uchiha clan within this new generation. He noticed that the clan has been hostile towards the village. He did not understand why. His big brother spends less time home, overworking himself. His brother went on a high-rank mission a week ago and he has not returned. He couldn't give him the details of the mission, stating that it was a high-profile missing, meaning he could not talk about it. He was supposed to get back 3 days now and Naruto was getting worried because his brother was never late. His auntie Mikoto tried to keep him far from the village on missions and Naruto started noticing that something was wrong, but he didn't know what. Today he was going to the Hokage Tower because he was being called by the Hokage and cancelled to a meeting. Curious as to what he was being called for, he got to the tower 10 minutes before what was accorded. "Hey, I'm here because I have a meeting with the Hokage," said Naruto to the secretary. She went through some papers and found him telling him that the council will be waiting for him in 3 minutes. After 3 minutes passed, Naruto knocked on the door, waiting a little bit till he heard an entry from the other side. "Ah, Naruto, you are just in time to come in and stand before the council, please," said the aged Hokage. Walking in, Naruto noticed that his sensei was there with all the prominent clan heads. In the room starting from the Hokage's left was the Ikimaki clan head Choso Ikimaki, the Nara clan head and Jonin commander Shikaku Nara, the Yamanaka clan head Inoichi Yamanaka, the Heiwaka clan head Hayashi Heiwaka, the Uchiha clan head Uchiha Fukaku, the Inizuka clan head Suminizuka and the Ibaram clan head Shibi Ibaram. On his left were the 3 village elders Denzo Shigura, Kouru Yutatan, and Homurumi Takato. Then there was the civilian council full of fat, rich and power-hungry people. Kneeling down, he put his fist on his heart as a salute and said, "Hokage-sama and honorable council, to what I owe the honor of being brought here." At this, the Uchiha clan head smirked, knowing his nephew was one of, if not the most promising Uchiha from his generation. The other clan heads were impressed and pleased with the mannerism the young Uchiha showed, not showing the Uchiha stock-up attitude. "Raise, young one, we have called you here to talk about a promotion." This caught Naruto off guard, but he didn't show it, only showing a stoic facade to hide his interest. The Hokage continued, "You see, I have spoken to a lot of the ninjas that you and Mikoto have gone to missions with and have put up recommendations for you to be promoted. Mikoto also thinks you are ready, so we just want to know so we could make it official." Naruto looked towards Mikoto for a confirmation, which he got in the form of a nod. "I accept, Hokage-sama. What are going to be my duties from now on?" he asked, keeping up his stoic face, not showing any of the emotions he was feeling, but to the trained eyes of the Hokage, he can see the excitement in the young boy through his eyes. Smiling, he said, "Here is your Chunin vest, in one of the pockets is manual. There you are going to find all the responsibilities, and also know that as a Chunin you have to serve in the academy as a teacher assistant for the total amount of 4-month minimum. Is there anything else I need to know, Hokage-sama, or is that everything?" Not to sound disrespectful, but I need to keep up with my training. I'm aiming to be in the ANBU after all, and I can't slack off or be relaxed about my training if I want to get to where I have to be," he said in a respectful tone. At this the Hokage and the clan had smiled, seeing the dedication of the young prodigy to his ninja career. "It's okay, young one, you are dismissed." Naruto took off to the training grounds via Storm Shunsen, leaving some of the council shocked to see such an advanced way of Shunsen. Uchiha Massacre. It's been 4 months since Naruto was promoted to Chunin. He has been training a lot. His Sharingan matured in the last few months. His Taijutsu was high Chunin. His Genjutsu was at a high ANB level. His Ninjutsu was high Jonin. His Shuriken Jutsu is at an ANB level, and his Kenjutsu skills is at a low Jonin. He has been pushing himself a lot ever since Shisui was reported MIA. Because of this he has been a little depressed. Every day he trained hard or did B or A rank missions to take his mind off the past. Today was no exception. He was coming from an intense training session again. He felt tired. He just wanted to get home and go to bed. The disappearance of his big brother hit him hard. He was his most important person, after all, his last blood connection to his dad. Mikoto was right after him, with Itachi being a close third, Mikoto being his paternal aunt and all that, but it wasn't the same as immediate family. Getting to the compound he noticed that all the lights were off. Feeling that it was strange for this to happen, he decided to investigate. Walking into the compound he turned right and saw something that made him flinch. There in front of him were a lot of bodies littering the ground. Seeing this he started running, checking if any of the people on the floor were alive. Getting to the store he bought his Chakudo. He saw the old store owner there lying on the floor. "Hey old man, are you okay? Answer me." Naruto got worried because this old man was one of the only Uchihas that saw him as part of the clan, and seeing him in this state made his heart sink. "Run, Cuff Naru, get away from here. Cuff Itachi is killing the clan. Cuff, you must run." With those last words the old man passed away. Closing the man's eyes, Naruto started running for the main house, worried about his auntie. "Come on, let me get there in time," he started saying as if it was a mantra. Getting to the Uchiha mansion he felt 3 chakra signatures, one of them being Itachi and the other 2 were his aunt and uncle. Running to the signatures he opened a door to see Itachi running his blade through his uncle's eyes. This made Naruto activate his Sharingan and tried to stop Itachi from killing his aunt. Appearing in a blur just in the nick of time he stopped Itachi's blade with his Chakudo and said, "Itachi-san, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing this?" Itachi didn't respond. After Itachi started attacking Naruto in a Kenjutsu match, swings came and went. It was a deadly dance of stabs and parries. Taking the fight outside the mansion, Naruto decided to use jutsus, which Itachi countered and copied with his Sharingan. After a couple of minutes Naruto started getting tired. He was not in his best shape. He just came from an intense training session that lasted half a day, so he was weakened. "Just give up, Naru, you are going to die anyway. I'm stronger and have more experience." Naruto got mad because Itachi was not one to taunt his opponent while fighting. "Why are you doing this, Itachi? We're family. I trusted you, Shisui trusted you, and you did this." Itachi felt a pang in his heart. He didn't want to do this, but he had to for the good of the village. "You do know I'm not going all out on this fight. I'm just toying with you so you can see how useless you are. Do you want to know what really happened to Shisui? I killed him. He was just as pathetic as you are, trusting this forsaken village. I am doing this to prove myself. I am doing this for power. I am doing this because I can and I want to. You want to see how I killed him? I'll show you," he said, as she turned his MS and said Tsukuyomi. Tsukuyomi World. Inside the Tsukuyomi World, Itachi appeared in front of Naruto with a tanto in his hand and said, "Hey Naru, welcome to my world. In here 1 second of the outside world is 3 days. So for the next 3 days you are going to see how I murdered Shisui and the whole clan, including Mikoto." With that said he started showing Naruto how he killed Shisui and the clan. 3 hours later in the Tsukuyomi World. "Stop it. No response. Stop it. No response. Stop it. No response. I'm telling you to stop it. Damn it." With that said his eyes started spinning rapidly till a new design was seen in his eyes. With a burst of chakra the Tsukuyomi World started shattering like glass. Outside the Tsukuyomi World, Itachi dropped to one knee. "Damn you, Itachi," Naruto said with tears of blood coming down from his eyes. Itachi looked up in shock. Looking at Naruto's eyes he saw a flower design. Walking up to Itachi, he said one word, "Why?" With that, he fainted with chakra exhaustion. At that moment Sasuke came running and said, "Why Itachi, why do this even to your cousin?" Itachi only looked at him with his MS and put him under its Tsukuyomi and said, "Come to kill me when you get the same eyes as me." A week later, it's been a week since the incident, now we see Naruto waking up. Standing up from his bed, he walked to the bathroom of his hospital room. Looking into the mirror, he turned his Sharingan on, putting a little more chakra towards his eyes. He saw that his Sharingan changed to a flower design. So this is the fable Mangekyo that Shisui used to tell me about. I had the wish to awaken it, but through sheer intense training, not by losing someone close to me. He told me about it later that he left me on the med flooring in my room on our house. I haven't have any time to read it with all the training I've been doing. I would like to know what it says, he says to himself, thinking out loud. Walking out of the bathroom, he started going back to his bed. After getting to his bed, he started reminiscing about the times he spent with his older brother and his auntie Mikoto. Wait, he never killed her. I stopped him before he got the chance. After saying that, he stood up from his bed and walked out of his room to the reception table. "Hey miss, me, I know the people that have been brought in here since the Uchiha massacre," he said with an urgency. He wanted to know if there were any other survivors. The nurse on duty looked up and stared at him for a couple of seconds and said, "Aren't you supposed to be in bed right now? I'll call the Hokage. He said he needed to speak with you and the other two anyway." With that said, she went back to doing what she was doing. Reluctantly striding back to his room, Naruto started waiting for the Hokage. He was probably the only one with the answers he was looking for. He was never too keen on waiting or staying down and doing nothing irked him to no end. He was an imperative child for Uchiha standard. It's something most of his clan used to look down on him. He tried going back to sleep for a little bit. Every time he closed his eyes, the flashbacks of that night came rushing at him. It was a blessing and a curse having eidetic memory. It meant he will remember everything that he has experienced throughout his life, and he did not want to remember about his family's deaths. The vividness of the memories made it worse on him. It felt as if he was reliving the scenes of that genocide, and he hated that. He wanted to forget what happened. He wanted answers. He wanted to know who are his remaining family, and most of all he needed to read what his brother left for him in case he passed away, something that was painful to remember about. "Hey Naruto, how are you feeling? I came as soon as I heard that you were awake. Is there anything you need?" asked the aged man, seeing that the eyes that had so much light, hope, and warmth were now so full of anger, grief, sadness, and coldness. But what surprised him was that he detected no hate towards the person who did this atrocity. It was as if he was looking at the deeper meaning of the situation, as if he wanted to know what drove Itachi to do what he did. "No, Hokage-sama, and thank you for your concern," Naruto said stoically. Hiruzen knew that Naruto was usually formal in front of others, but with him, he was always calmed and collected and treated as a grandfather. But seeing this Naruto, it was like looking at one of Danzo's root agents. No emotions in his voice and a blank look that shouldn't be in an 8-year-old boy. Now that he was thinking about it, Naruto has never been your regular 8-year-old boy. This boy has been through a lot and has strived more. He has killed and has seen his fair share of death in the year he has in the shinobi program. This boy never got the time to be a kid, always behaving like an adult, always ahead of those in his age group and some of the younger shinobis in his program. This boy was a true prodigy. It's scary to see that the lineage of the main branch Uchiha, all of them have been excellent shinobis in their ways. Madara and Izuna, Kagami and Mikoto, Shisui and Itachi, just to name a few. It was something that amazed him how in the main branch of the Uchiha and the Senju clans have produced some of the best shinobis in the village and the elemental nations. In general, they are said to be descendant of the Sage of Six Paths along with the Uzumakis, and by the looks of it this lineage was going to keep going. After all, Hokage-sama, I would like to know if there were any survivors from my clan, said Naruto with a little hope in his voice. Even if the majority of the Uchihas didn't like him, they were still family. "Ah, yes, I was thinking about that. There are 2 more Uchihas alive. They are your aunt and your cousin Sasuke. We found Mikoto passed out on the floor of the main dojo in the Uchiha mansion next to her dead husband Fukaku. It seems she was put under a very strong genjutsu. She is already awake." Naruto was about to speak when Hiruzen stopped him and said, "I am going to take you there in a minute, but before that, I would like for you to give me a report of what happened that night. I know you may not want to talk about it, but this concerns village security," said Hiruzen. He already know what happened that night since Itachi sent one of his summons to him with a written report of the massacre a day ago, but he wanted to know why Naruto was so banged up when they brought him into the hospital. With that, Naruto gave him a detailed report of what happened that night from the time he got to the Uchiha Manor to the time he fainted from exhaustion, only leaving the MS part out, not wanting to reveal that part to old man yet. "That's all I can remember at the time, sir," he said. Hiruzen was impressed. After all, the kid held his own against an ANBU captain, but from what Itachi told him, he only had to use a 25% of his actual strength to beat Naruto, which in itself speaks highly of Naruto because from what his ANBU told him, he has been training this whole week, only taking breaks to sleep and when necessary. That being said, Hiruzen said, "Well, Naruto, follow me. I'll take you to your aunt and cousin's room, for you to speak to Mikoto-san a little bit, okay? The Iranian told me that you can go home tomorrow. Also know that the Uchiha funeral service will be held tomorrow in the afternoon." That being said, he took Naruto to Mikoto's room and excused himself, mumbling something about paperwork and the bane of all cages. "Hey Naru," said Mikoto with a sad smile. Naruto's mask of indifference broke and went to his mother figure and cried on her shoulder. "I'm sorry, Sensei. Sob, I wasn't strong enough. I could have helped, but he beat me and he was not even trying." He then proceeded to tell her about his fight with his big brother Itachi and how it ended with him unlocking his MS. Rubbing his head, Mikoto was whispering comforting words, telling him that everything is going to be alright while listening to his tale. "It's okay, Naru, you are not prepared to fight an Anbu captain yet. You may be strong for your age, but you still need the experience, and for the Mangekyo I have a solution for you not to lose your eyesight. We just have to discover what are your special abilities. With it you have the Amaterasu, Tsukuyomi, and Susanoo by default due to your lineage. The other special depends on your way of fighting. It could be just one ability or two, no more than that," she said to a tired Naruto, telling him to sleep there with her so he is not alone. The next day, Mikoto and Naruto were released from the hospital. Sasuke is supposed to be released a week after due to him being still asleep. From what the doctors told them, his young and untrained mind was still processing the effects of a really strong genjutsu. Mikoto, knowing the effect of the Tsukuyomi, knew that Sasuke will be okay and that he needed the rest. We now see Naruto and Mikoto draped on traditional Uchiha funeral cloth that consisted of a black kimono that had the Uchiha clan symbol on their back, with a dark red obi. On their feet they wore traditional Jita sandals with black tabi socks. Walking over to the graveyard, Mikoto and Naruto had stoic faces, not showing any weakness to the villagers, keeping their Uchiha pride on an all-time high. "Auntie, I was thinking why Itachi did what he did. He told me that it was for power, but I have a feeling that it's not true. Knowing him, he had a deeper meaning for doing what he did. He was never the power-hungry type and always told me how he wished for peace. But how can one preach peace and do a genocide like that? I don't mean to sound rude, but what if he did that for a greater good? I have so many questions without an answer and I don't like to be kept in the dark. Shisui once told me that he left me a letter under a floor tile under my bed. What if that has the answers I'm looking for? But then again, what if it doesn't? All these what ifs with no answers. I just want to know what happened. What would you do if you were to be in my place?" asked Naruto solemnly. He knew his older brothers and both of them were pacifists. The only way one of them doing that would be for the greater good of the village. So what was Itachi's drive? Mikoto was impressed with her nephew's reasoning skills, always looking underneath. She was proud of him for that. Of course, she knew the reasons Itachi did what he did, but she would not directly tell Naruto of what happened, knowing Shisui left a note to Naruto telling him the reason stuff happened like they did, so she would just guide him to the answers instead of giving them to him. With that in mind, she said, "Well Naru, if I was you I would read Shisui's letter and process what it says. After that, if you find something, to come and tell me about it so I could help you with anything. Also, if you want, you can come and live with me and Sasuke so you won't be all alone. After all, I love you like I love any of my sons, even if one turned traitor." With that said, they kept walking to pay their respect to their fallen clansmen. After the funeral, Naruto decided to go to his house and read the letter his brother left him. Walking to his room, he saw a piece of paper on top of his bed that said sorry. A tear went down his eyes noticing the handwriting. He knew it was an apology from Itachi. He folded the note and put it in his pouch inside a storage seal he had to make for little things such as this. Like that he could always have it on him. He didn't notice the little storage seal in the corner of the folded paper, still having troubles coming to terms with the happenings of the last few days. Moving his bed aside, he saw that one of the tiles was mismatched, meaning that what he was looking for was under that tile. Moving the tile, he saw that there was a jar with a pair of Shuriken in it. Beside it were some books on ceiling, a pen, and a letter. Picking up the letter, he started to read it. The letter: Dear Naruto, if you are reading this, it means that I have passed away and I couldn't personally give you these items under the floor of your room myself. Before I tell you why I gave you those things, I have a few things to explain to you. First of all, I am going to tell you more about our ancestry. We are the descendants of more than one powerful being. Our first ancestor is the eldest son of the Sage of Six Paths. His name was Indra Otsutsuki, the progenitor of the Uchiha clan. Inside the Uchiha clan there are two branches, the main house and the branch family. But it was not always that way, for you see, before the Warring Clan era there was no branch family. This was because every Uchiha was pure-blooded Uchihas, meaning that they were straight descendants of Indra. But during that era, the Senjus and Uchihas' number diminished because of the amount of bloodshed and clan members getting killed, till it got to the point where both clans only had their elite warriors, those being Madara, his father, and his little brother. For the Uchiha clan, as for the Senju, it was just Hashirama, Tobirama, and their dad. This being said, both clans had to start going towards the civilian villages to get people that were trained as warriors and had them go through a blood ritual that changed their DNA to that of an Uchiha or Senju. The only downside to this was that only the main family Uchiha members had the opportunity to get the Mangekyo. That's why there have been only a selected few members of the clan have been able to awaken the Mangekyo, and all of those who have been from the main family direct line. The second part of our lineage is special and known only to the main family members, which is that every once in a while the gods Susanoo, Amaterasu, and Tsukuyomi come down and have children in the main family, meaning that we are part gods in a way, but that doesn't mean we are unstoppable or invincible. It only means that each of us has special abilities such as higher affinities to Genjutsu, a certain stronger element like fire, water, wind, lightning, or in a rare case as yours, a secondary element. That being said, now I have to tell you the main reason for this letter. You see, Itachi and I have been on a really important mission that involves village security. This mission is to stop the Uchihas from committing a coup d'etat. The only one outside of the Hokage and his advisor that knows about this is Ani Mikoto. She was tasked to keep you away from the village on missions because I didn't want you involved. I know that you may think that it was selfish of me to keep you out of the loop, but just know that I wanted to keep you away from the prejudices that could bring being part of something that big. The less you know, the safer you are. Now on to the items I left for you. As you have noticed, those items are the following: the copies of all the Finjutsu books. Your godmother's name was Kushina Uzumaki. She was the last Uzumaki of her generation. She wanted you to have and make her proud by being one of the only Uchihas to know how to efficiently use Finjutsu in a fight. The originals, she left them for her only daughter. I guess you know her after all. I have seen you defend her a couple of times from bullies and some drunken civilians. Her name is Mito Uzumaki. I bet you're having an AHA experience right now. Yes, she is that little red-headed girl with sky blue eyes. At this, Naruto face-palmed. His brother was still being an idiot even after his death. Well, yeah, now that you know that, we have to move to the next item, the pen. I bet you are asking yourself, why do I need a pen for? Naruto nodded. His brother knew him too damn well. Why would he need a pen for? Well, you little dumbass, it's not a damn pen. Go ahead and press the button on the top of the pen. Make sure that the tip is looking away from you though. Naruto did just that, and to his surprise, when he did so, the pen became a beautiful Chokuto. The Chokuto was the same size as the one he had with a black and silver guard. The blade was composed of a beautiful bronze, gold, and silvery metal with an engraving for wisdom on one side and owl on the other. Recapping the blade, he put the pen on his pocket and kept reading to see how the hell his brother got this pen. I am guessing you are wondering right now, how the hell did I get this pen? Well, that's simple. It was a gift that your birth mother left you with. She said something about that being the blade she used to go on mission with. She also said that once you put it in your pocket, the sword will always come back to your pockets even if you lose it. She said that it was due to a special time-space ninjutsu, even though I still don't believe her, but don't mind me too much. Now the last item, the jar with the Sharingens inside it. Well, you see, once a main house member gains the Mangekyo, they start to lose their eyesight from using it for a long time. The only way for you to counter that is with the Mangekyo of a close relative to get eternal light. Meaning you won't go blind, and not only that, but it transfers the special abilities of that Mangekyo user to you, meaning that you will get the Koto Amatsukomi if you transplant this pair of Mangekyo into you. What I would recommend you to do is to practice with your Mangekyo once you get it and master its abilities. After doing so, transplant this sets into you and then practice the Koto Amatsukomi. Now the most important and last thing I have to tell you is that I know that if I were to die, Itachi is going to have to kill off the clan for the good of the village. Don't ever hate him for it. He loves you a lot till the point he convinced the village elders to let you and his mother and little brother live, saying that if they don't then he would side with the clan. The last teaching I have for you is that never let the darkness take over you. You have to know that life is not black and white, it's shades of gray, meaning that you have to see everything from every perspective, never think that something is good or bad just because. Always look deeper into whatever you are doing. If you want to be in ANBU, you are going to be walking in the darkness. In ANBU there is a thing called the gray zone, meaning we kill, rob, and massacre for the good of the village. We do bad things for good causes. We stay in the shades instead of in the extremes of the color spectrum, and also know that our parents and I are proud of you, and whatever you do we will always support you. Love you, little brother. Goodbye. Yours truly, your lovable brother, Shisui Uchiha. P.S. Really, learn Ninjutsu, it's freaking awesome. P.P.S. Take care of yourself and give me a lot of nephews and nieces. A tear escaped Naruto's eye. Idiot. I love you too, big brother. I'll make you and our parents proud. That Naruto wiped his eyes and grabbed everything, putting it on his seal inside his pouch. After that he went to sleep. After all, he was moving to his aunt's house tomorrow. I hope you all liked the video. And if you all want the next part of this video, please like the video and comment 3 hearts. Please subscribe to my channel so whenever I upload a video you will notify.